one of the things that would be a huge benefit to everyone is to take a step back and not make any assumptions.
Welcome, everyone, to the Driving Vision podcast brought to you by the Zeigler Auto Group. I'm your host, Sam Dark. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, like it if you do, and leave a comment. What's up, Team Zeigler, and welcome back to another episode of the Zeigler DRIVE Podcast. This is where we share what's happening across the group. We highlight what matters most right now and connect the dots between performance, people, and our Zeigler purpose. Team, if you're in the car, on the floor, or squeezing this in between customers, thanks for being here. Let's get into it. And now let's shift gears. This next segment's about something much bigger than day-to-day. It's about impact, community, and showing up for people when it matters most. I sat down with Ramon to preview the 2026 Ride for Life coming up February 17th and 18th, and to talk about why this event continues to be so meaningful to our Zeigler family. Ramon, super excited to have you back in advance of the 2026 Ride for Life, which is happening February 17th through the 18th in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, the UP. This is your second year supporting the ride. For our audience that doesn't know, Ramon, tell us a little bit about the ride and why you decided to join up with it starting last year.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. Super excited about this year's ride. We're greenlighting a inaugural 2-day format or a 36-hour format. When we get to Ironwood, a group of us is just gonna head straight east, 200 to 250 miles. Probably stop in Marquette or Christmas, and then we're going to try to crank out another 250 miles and round it out to 500 total to get to Sioux. And it's one of those things where just absolutely love the tagline, the theme, the intention. Ride for Life, stopping cancer in its tracks. Was so grateful and excited to partner with the Drive for Life Foundation last year, with my foundation, the Ramon Bueno Cancer Support Foundation. And just witness the several charities that have been cancer-based charities that have been supported because of this event and because of Drive for Life Foundation. So we're just really, really excited to be a part of it this year, and really excited to be part of a different format this year.
So let's talk about how it began and where it sits today. So Aaron Zeigler started this ride 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, he participated in a different charity event. It was 500 miles across the UP. Start in one point, you ride 500 miles in one day. If memory serves, he finished it in record time, if not close to it. Speeds exceeding, actually, I don't know if I should even quote the speeds. Like, they rode incredibly fast. It was Aaron Zeigler, it was Chris Snyder, and we, as part of the Driving Vision podcast, chased him, live streamed it across the Zeigler Auto Group social media platforms. And the viewers that watched were super fascinated by a couple things. Number one, the speed and the fun everybody had riding across the UP. It's an incredibly cold time, a lot of snow. And then also, I think hearts were melted by, notwithstanding the cold, by the charity dollars raised to help all these various charities benefited by the Drive for Life Foundation, which Drive for Life is a once-a-year charity event. It's a gala in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and proceeds go back to multiple different charities, local and regional, charities like Big Brothers Big Sisters, American Heart Association, and you've got, Ramon, your own charities that this benefits. There was one year there wasn't enough snow to actually execute the ride, so that's why I think we're actually in the third actual ride, but possibly the fourth year. Last year, Ramon, you were with us, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. We flew up to one location, dropped the snowmobiles, the sleds. The entire group rode from one end to the other. This year, as you mentioned, is a little bit different. Riders are going to split up into two separate groups, and you're spearheading and greenlighted the 2-day format where across the couple of days, your goal is to ride, I think, 400 or 500 miles, Ramon, yeah?
Yep, that's right. Last year, we basically had a free day as soon as we landed in Ironwood. And I was with a group. We had 2 people on our foundation team. One of our team members wanted to see what all the fuss was about with Aaron's group, so he's more of an experienced rider. He got me into riding, so
Yeah.
he's been riding since he was 6, and he
Yeah.
went with them. Me and my other buddy rode with some of the other folks, and we did about 130, 150 miles just on that free day. And then the next day was the endurance run. And so
Yeah.
getting up at 3 in the morning, feeling the adrenaline, getting super excited, leaving like before 5 in the morning. And there's just something so special about greeting daylight while you're riding.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
probably one of the most picturesque experiences I've done. And it was just great. It was great fun.
As mentioned, last year we live streamed across the Zeigler and the Drive for Life Foundation pages. We'll do the same again this year. And in fact, if you've got a foundation page, we can also push it to that across YouTube. So check out for that. But Ramon, outside of the ride, which we'll sprinkle in some information about the ride and some of the adversity you cross in the ride, because it's a long ride. It's super cold temperatures. There's snow. There's challenges that arise during the ride, fuel, logistics, other things. But you overcome them all to ultimately end at the end point, which everyone did last year. And then everybody flies back home happy, having overcome a tough challenge. Why undertake a challenge when you're trying to raise money for a charity? And then we'll talk about your charity. What is it about adversity in a challenge that makes it so worthwhile to experience and endure, Ramon?
You know, that's a great question, Sam. I think there's a lot of parallels when it comes to anybody's cancer journey, whether or not you're a survivor or a caregiver, and being able to fully embrace the fact that nothing ever goes truly as planned.
Yeah.
And so navigating that adversity, those challenges, but staying committed is all part of the experience. And so for me, the theme behind myself being a survivor and a caregiver, it's so aligned with intention and the beautiful community that comes with being someone that wants to help others touched by cancer.
All right, Ramon, then let's transition into that. For people hearing about the Ramon Bueno Foundation for the first time, what problem are you fundamentally trying to solve in the cancer space today, Ramon, with your foundation?
Our mission for the foundation is to identify, connect, and elevate innovative cancer support programs and events for all communities. So typically in any geography, there are a number of community partners that do very specific things when it comes to the cancer care space. And that's great. The challenge is a lot of those programs or nonprofits in that specific geography, they kind of live on an island. So if I'm a nonprofit and I offer an exercise oncology program, for example, I am pretty much one of the only resources in that geography. So I don't have a great way to connect with a true peer that is also offering an exercise oncology program, compare notes, borrow ideas, raise the bar in terms of how we're helping people touched by cancer. So our approach to aligning with our mission is to support similar programs and events in different geographies and then connect them all together. Last week we had a fantastic exercise oncology roundtable. My foundation was able to support 5 exercise oncology programs, and I got to tell you,
Wow.
the amount of collaboration and ideas. I mean, it was designed to be a very engaging discussion where it purposely was meant to run out of time so people could stay in touch and carry the conversation forward. We also supported 5 5K events last year, so we're excited to be lining up a roundtable for those program leaders at the end of February so they can connect as well.
So your mission in your foundation talks about those 3 words you used: elevating, connecting, and expanding. What's the significance of those 3 words to you in the mission of your foundation?
In terms of identify, connecting, and elevating, it was just such a blessing to be able to find in happenstance the Drive for Life Foundation, where it's all about connections. We're all connected in different ways. Didn't know that Aaron went to Michigan State. Also, I went to Michigan State. Finding out a little bit about what this organization is looking to do and trying to find very, very special events that really stand out is great because it gives the opportunity for other organizations to look at this as an example. Yes, it can be done. Yes, there are so many
So,
upsides to it.
yeah. So to your point, what's the risk of programs being isolated instead of connected? Connected is an important word in your foundation. What happens when efforts to give back are isolated versus connected?
Well, a lot of the challenges in terms of isolation is it's very prone to reinventing the wheel when you don't have to. There's a lot of
Yeah, you can learn
benefit.
from each other, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
learning from each other saves time, saves money, makes things more efficient, makes things more effective. So collaboration is definitely a huge benefit, especially in the cancer cure space.
So cancer cure space is a big one, right? It's a huge mission to actually cure cancer, particularly when so many people across the country and across the globe are impacted by it. Walk us through how your foundation chooses and supports grantees. What does the partnership really mean in practice? How do you select grantees for your foundation?
Great, thanks for the good question. Basically, it starts with having a really thoughtful conversation with different organizations that we develop relationships with. Being in this space for going on almost 15 years now, you connect with a lot of people. And there's also the whole paradigm of the grateful patient. If you're familiar
Mm-hmm.
with any kind of fundraising, especially in the healthcare space, a lot of former patients tend to have a lot of interest in giving back to the institutions that help them. And then it spirals into other connections like volunteer organizations, so on and so forth. So I think there's a lot of opportunity. Unfortunately, you don't have to look far uh, to either know someone or know someone that knows
Yeah.
someone that's been touched
Yeah.
by cancer. We live in that world today.
Yeah.
So so
Absolutely.
then so then it's this just desire to want to help. And so we finding organizations that we feel are going to be great partners, like yourself, like Drive for Life Foundation, where we can keep the communication lines open, where we can work together and forge a partnership that really results in giving to the greater good. I mean, there's a lot of charities that definitely have their fundraising mandates, and they got to do what they got to do. We're looking for organizations that have a little more agility, that are versatile, and that are really willing to see and participate in giving back to the greater good. And for us, giving back to the greater good is sharing the great work that you're doing with others.
So you were given the opportunity to join the Ride for Life, supports Drive for Life, contribute foundation dollars to that. What inspired you to join Ride for Life in its second year? Again, this year, February 17th through the 18th, 2026 in Upper Peninsula.
Yeah, Ride for Life. What I love about this event is it's specifically geared towards a cancer cure themes. The tagline is stopping cancer in its tracks.
Yeah.
It's a very unique event. It's an opportunity to do something so to some people crazy that it can't help but spur some
Yeah.
curiosity.
Yeah.
So and it also provides an opportunity for our foundation to assemble a team where everyone on our team, we have 5 people on our foundation team. We're really excited about that. That all have some type of connection to cancer care. So we have team members that are former survivors like myself, former caregivers like myself, former volunteers. It's all connected. And so being able to embrace that connection in this unique event, I think just makes it totally awesome.
So for most people or for those people, and it's rare, I think most of us have been impacted by cancer in one way or another. My mom passed 51 years of age, so young from cancer. What do most people in your unique role as caregiver and survivor, maybe what do most people not know about cancer and how it impacts you that you as a message that you'd like to get out there? What perspective is unique to you because of your status as both survivor and supporter?
I
Caregiver.
think that there is definitely uh, room for improvement when it comes to the cancer space. I mean, obviously, everybody wants to see a cure in their lifetime. And unfortunately, there are literally hundreds of rare cancers that have no cure. But I think that as it relates to being able to support people in their cancer journey, we definitely have some low-hanging fruit opportunities that everyone can benefit from. For
What would you
example,
change? Yeah, what would you change?
when you're diagnosed with cancer, I don't know if you're aware of this, there is no onboarding standard. I find that mind-blowing. So if you're diagnosed with cancer and you start your journey as a survivor, or you're starting your journey as a caregiver, there is no onboarding standard that says, hey, here's 3 to 5 things, here's 5 to 7 things that we look at across the board to make sure that you're set up for success. Because in a lot of ways, being a survivor and being a caregiver, you're taking on a new role in life. And with most organizations, anyone that takes on a new role, there typically is some type of onboarding standard or orientation that people can take advantage of to be set up for success.
What would the first thing be that you would encourage for those being onboarded to this really terrible journey, right? Like, it's not something anybody wants to be. You're part of an exclusive club that not many people want to be part of. And maybe that's part of the reason why there's not traditional onboarding. But what would you recommend as one step in that onboarding process that would help provide support and help those traveling that road heal?
It's a great question. I think one of the things that would be a huge benefit to everyone is to take a step back and not make any assumptions. Too many times people make assumptions where you're going to take yourself to treatment, or you got your treatment covered. If you have X number of cycles of chemo, you might get to a point where you can't even drive. So why does it have to be a fire drill at the last minute? Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I can't drive. I can't take care of myself. Let's try to intervene last minute. So there's basic things just about your lifestyle change that need to be re-examined, looked at, and make sure that you have full support to thrive in this new role. Same thing as a caregiver. I mean, the one thing that a lot of caregivers don't practice is self-care. Well, you can't really be at your best for someone else if you're not taking care of yourself.
So, Ramon, in that role as caregiver, what's an example of self-care that you would recommend or encourage those providing caregiving to give themselves?
Oh man, I wish I wish I had a whole day to say this, but yeah, I mean, as it relates to taking care of yourself, making sure that you're not 24/7 only taking care of someone else, carving out some time of the day to just take care of yourself, making sure you're eating right, making sure that you have some type of physical activity that you can embrace. Just like survivors, caregivers also need to maintain some type of active lifestyle. It doesn't have to be super intense. You don't have to be training for a marathon or anything, but just making sure you have time for yourself. But that requires a bit of planning so that people, if needed, can cover for you. And people generally want to help. So to just take into consideration, hey, if you really want to help, I'm gonna go for a run, or I'm gonna go for a walk or something. If you could just hold the fort for half an hour, or a couple hours, that'd be great.
Yeah. So it is interesting. Your foundation does support some unique aspects of cancer, and probably because of your caregiver status, both survivor and caregiver. So you support things like exercise oncology, caregiver programs, these survivor summits, as I read through a lot of your material. Why is that cancer support, and we appreciate you giving us some tips for those providing it, why is it so much bigger than just treatment alone? Why is it important to focus on both aspects, Ramon?
Well, I don't think one can exist without the other. I think the treatment and the treatment plan is more explicitly defined than a support plan. But we're all human beings. We're still going to need all kinds of different dimensions of support to get from point A to point B. And so I think that's really important to take into consideration, rather than just feel like you're going to rough it, or I'm fine, or feel like you have to do everything by yourself or on your own. World out there of resources that people just don't take advantage of.
So you're out in the community raising dollars for the foundation, which benefit these various causes. And thank you for doing that. you probably get donors and participants that ask you, they come to you and say, hey, did I actually make a difference with the dollars that I donated? How do you answer that today versus, let's say, 5 years ago? What's changing in your fundraising efforts that make them more targeted, more effective, more impactful?
Love that question. One of the key things that we have in our partnership with our grantees are things called impact summaries. These impact summaries are published twice a year. We have typically, wherever possible, in-person meetings with the grantees, and we review the impact summaries of what was done, what's going as planned, what are some course corrections, where is this going, and are we heading in the right direction? So it provides two things. One, it provides the validation that the impact is there, that the difference is being made, but it also provides an opportunity, wherever possible, to course correct and make it even more meaningful if need be. So we have that set of checks and balances in place, which I think is great. And then also the opportunity to have more of a collaborative type of dialogue throughout the entire year. We do annual grants that we have our partnership in place. So it's not just here's a proposal, I'll talk to you in a year. It's an ongoing, like we'll go to the event. My wife, who's certified to do yoga for cancer patients, she led the pre-run yoga event for the Purdue Institute for Cancer Research.
Wow.
Their 5K. And she went to Purdue, but it was pretty beautiful to be taking pictures of her and then turn around and you have this whole sea of people doing all this yoga stuff like it's a big cult or whatever. But I love the community aspect of it. So we're not your typical giving foundation in that we are very engaged. The Survivor Summit that you mentioned, I was the afternoon keynote speaker to just talk about resilience, which is part of our tagline, Resilience Reimagined. But what does that mean for a survivor? So I think there's a lot of opportunities to be able to celebrate impact and making a difference.
Was there one story of survival or caregiving that touched you the most this past year and the past few years that has been a benefactor of your foundation?
Yeah, I mean, there's many. One that comes to mind for me to just reinforce resilience and resolve to keep staying the course with what I'm doing with this foundation is my good friend Erin, who I went to high school with. She was the very first classmate to reach out to me when I was diagnosed back in 2015. And Erin was a very special friend of mine, 6'3", full ride swimmer, just incredible athlete. Unfortunately, she passed of cancer, and I committed to training and competing in the Masters Swimming National Championships in 2024. So it was that whole experience to just dedicate that competition to her that will be something I remember for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. And what a great impact. And that's neat to be able to have that impact back to somebody that meant so much to you as you were going through your own process. So why do you think, Ramon, events like Ride for Life resonate so strongly with business leaders and organizations like Zeigler Auto Group? What ties the community into that?
I think in a lot of ways, Aaron and Chris reflect the brand for Ride for Life very well. It is a top tier experience that requires focus, dedication, commitment, excellence. They're so generous in terms of taking care of the logistics for the event, but then it really sends a strong message of what we're all here for and what we're trying to do. I love the technicalities of the challenge of doing that kind of ride.
It's a super tough ride, right? It's not an easy ride. Not everybody can do the ride, actually. And some people have had to pick up, right, in mid-ride because it's tough.
Yeah, but that's all part of the theme. That's all part of the theme, and I think it aligns well where any survivor, what they've been through, what they've been able to triumph through, it echoes that same type of just incredible experience.
So, Ramon, if someone's listening right now and thinking, I want to help, but I don't know exactly where to start, what's a good first step to supporting the 2026 Ride for Life, your foundation charity, and/or Drive for Life?
Well, I think it could be posted on your podcast link, but we have our landing page. You're more than welcome to visit our landing page. Give us $1, give us $1,000, give us whatever you feel like you can. I am posting updates on our foundation fundraising page that blend various pictures from our training rides to thematically being able to honor different aspects of cancer care. This month, for people that don't know, January is National Cervical Cancer Awareness Month, which is a teal color. We have colored lights on our property that cycle based on the Cancer Awareness Month. The whole point of that is to just raise some awareness of risk factors and knowing what to look out for when it comes to some of these notable cancers.
That's awesome.
But coming to our page and
where can people find your page to follow the foundation, stay connected, and help amplify your mission, Ramon?
Well, for the event, we're on that Give and Gain fundraiser. Right now, the foundation, which just officially launched last year, we have a LinkedIn page. So you can find us on LinkedIn, the Ramon Bueno Cancer Support Foundation. And then our website and social media pages will be coming soon.
Awesome. So, Ramon, as we wrap up today, when you look ahead to this ride, which happens here just in a couple weeks, what does success look like? Not just in dollars raised, but in lives impacted. What do you hope for this?
My hope is that this event continues to gain more and more momentum so that eventually you're going to have every major snowmobile brand just chomping at the bit to be involved in some capacity with this event. Wouldn't that be something, Sam?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And as we wrap and you think about last year's Ride for Life, what was a highlight memory for you during this ride last year?
I think there were a few moments in the ride where the scenery was just so spectacular.
I agree.
You almost had to pinch yourself, like, is this really happening? Am I really in this world? I mean, there is nothing like it. It is the coolest thing ever.
It was an awesome ride. It's cold. So when you think about like raising charity dollars, when you think about fighting cancer, when you think about supporting and providing care to givers of cancer, it's interesting to me, Ramon, because there is a correlation between a tough ride like this, fraught with danger and risk and challenges. I get people asking all the time, hey, how does Aaron, who's CEO of and who's the head of a multi-billion-dollar company, how does he end up riding 100 plus, incredibly fast across the UP? There's risks to it. It's uncomfortable. The entire ride isn't necessarily fun or exhilarating, but it kind of parallels a cancer journey in some ways, right? There are risks. It's fraught with peril, but the reward at the end for those who care give, but also those who endure, some win, some fight and lose that battle. To my mom, thoughts to her, she passed again at 51. The reward at the end of it is a connection, people to people, human to human, as we help support each other through this journey of life. Just like in this race, people are supported through this race. Ramon, any last thoughts as we wrap up today about the ride, what lies ahead, and then we want you back post-ride. Our viewers can watch the live stream across all our social media platforms, but we'd love to have you back and just recap the race this year, Ramon.
Thank you. I think the one thing that is the true parallel between anyone's cancer journey, whether you're a caregiver or a survivor or a volunteer, and Ride for Life, is no matter what happens, you commit to just getting through it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Ride for Life is, to just get through it.
Ramon, we absolutely appreciate you joining to preview the 2026 Ride for Life coming up here in just a couple weeks. We hope everybody can tune in and watch across all the Zeigler and Drive for Life social media platforms. We'll also provide you a link, Ramon, as well. And we just hope everybody's there, able to see it. You can visit Ramon's foundation if you want to provide a contribution to he and his team there and support all the great work he's doing, not only to supporting those afflicted with cancer, but also those caregivers. So, Ramon, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you so much, Sam. Appreciate you.
Thanks again to Ramon and all those who will participate and ride in the 2026 Ride for Life. Thanks to you, our listening audience, for listening. Ride for Life is a reminder that what we do together goes far beyond our stores. It's about purpose, teamwork, and making a real difference in the communities we serve. Be sure to keep February 17th and 18th on your radar and watch for more details on how you can get involved. This has been another episode of the Zeigler Drive Podcast. Stay focused, stay driven, and we'll see you next episode. Thanks, everybody.